Alright, welcome back YouTube to the Cutlass Draft League. This is a very special, not live, pre-recorded episode because we had a very interesting round 4, which is the final round of the grinders, and we wanted to record something a little bit different to prepare for the finals, which is going to be recorded tomorrow, local time. So joining me in the booth today is Sean, Houdini, another one of our competitors, and I'm Keith. I'm the dickhead that runs this channel. And we're going to go through what happened in round 4, and then we're going to set you up for the finals. So the first thing is, because of the way that the tournament format panned out, in that we had a final round where basically the top 4 was secured. There was not really anything any of the matches could do to change, like to really have a rankings upset, right?
There had to be an exact sequence of events to occur to to not have the person who came in 4th be in 4th.
Yeah.
But I think the top 3 were locked, guaranteed. It was just that 4th slot. There was like 3 different people kind of competing for it.
Yeah. So we kind of understood this going into the 4th round. Throughout the whole tournament, we've kind of had a top seed, bottom seed split, and so this wasn't a huge surprise either.
Yeah.
But we had 2 intentional draws. The first of which for timing, and the second of which for memes.
Always for memes.
So that kind of locked the standing. So we have 2 replays to go through and commentate in a minute, but we are going to go through the draws first, and then once all of that is done, we'll go through and show off the final standings, and we'll talk about how the finals is going to play. But let's first talk about what the IDs were. So the first one, I believe, was Loremother and AV. So Loremother, first of all, not in our time zone.
Yep, US time zone's already a bit
makes scheduling a bit hard. Exactly.
But we do super appreciate all the hard work she's done to make it for the matches, and she's been in most of the streams as well. So big props to Lore.
Yeah, and had some cool team building video content and stuff as well. So definitely go and check that out too if you're curious. But it's 5 weeks. Like, is hard to.
It's a lot. It's a lot of time to dedicate to. So we totally get it. And
yeah, so we have the draw here between Loremother and AV, and I think Loremother was the person that we were relying on to win to get the upset as well.
She was one of the factors of winning that required to make the upset occur.
So this ID was one of the things that kind of pushed us towards the next ID, which is actually Sean and I.
Yes.
I was actually really looking forward to our match. Because, I mean, we played in the Elise draft league, and I won with an asterisk. Which I don't agree with, but I'll accept it. Because some of the stuff with Showdown is a bit hinky versus how some of the stuff in VGC runs. And you can never really know for certain what's happening, but I was anxious towards a Remax, especially because you have a really fucking scary team. And I got no idea what my team is a mess. And I've just sort of used it okay, I think. So we ended up IDing. Because the plan was to play a match on the day. We already had an ID and replays done. And I was like, well, if we're just going to run the stream to do one live match, and it's just going to be the 2 of us, you might as well record it at a different time, which is a bit better for us. And then that's what we decided to do. But that leaves us our next matches. Here we've got Terra and EBEZA. So this one is 2 of our lower seed players, basically playing for glory points at this point.
Well, yeah. So after this match had occurred, like right at the very, very end of the schedule for the week, had some of the other matches played out in certain ways, Terra was actually potentially competing for that position 4 slot.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So he was one of EBEZA and Terra both competing for that 4th position slot. But
yeah, I think if I lost to you, right? If I lost to you and one of them won, it could have made fourth.
Yeah, it was some higgledy-piggledy math, but
tournament maths is insane. Let's be honest. It's
yeah. It was like I had to beat you. Somebody else had to beat somebody. Like the other ID had to have a positive result for EBEZA or Terra either way.
In the resistance, yeah.
There was a potential for it there, but a lot of things had to go right.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at our replay here. I've got it loaded up, ready to go.
I got it too.
We've got our teams loaded in. Are you ready for me to count you in?
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Click the button. I've got it set to slow.
Yep. It for whatever reason doesn't like playing it very slow.
Yeah, I think you just have to. Yeah, you have to set it after it starts. But we've got our Minior lead.
Yes.
This is a Pokemon I think we haven't seen really shine hard enough just yet.
It does some work. I actually did do team building with EBEZA for this match as well. About 10 minutes before the match, so
huge.
He
Love it.
didn't really get to practice with it much.
Yeah. So we've got a pretty strong lead here out from Terra with the Intimidate and the Icy Wind coming in.
Yes.
And some setup from both players, actually. A Carmine and a Sword Stance. So this is going to be interesting. I think that is a Galvanized Body Slam.
That is a Galvanized Body Slam, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So even with the Intimidate drop, it still does a ton of damage.
Still doing about 61% damage. It's pretty massive.
Oh, and a critical on the Liquidation. Nice.
To be fair, I don't know if the crit mattered on the Liquidation because it is a Sword Stance.
It is Sword Stance.
+1.
That's true.
So I don't think the crit matters, but
interesting.
Slightly
Big
relevant,
Earth
maybe?
Power here as well.
Yeah.
So Minior is very slow at the moment.
It is. It's at -2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The single Carmine. So I think that also could have taken a KO on either the Pincushion or the Spicy Boy.
Also relevant to notice, there was a crit Icy Wind the turn before onto the Minior as well, which is why it's so low. Yeah, I did talk to...
Interesting. It's actually an illusion.
Yes. Kind of given away by that
Icy Wind.
Icy Wind. But yeah, Axe Kick here also getting the Confuse onto...
It's pretty good, yeah.
But I don't think it's particularly relevant based on how slow the Icy Wind has made everything. Although a huge avoid.
Yeah, well, we still don't know if Dugtrio is going to get a chance to actually... Oh, we got a Stealth Rock. And then I assume a KO from... Oh, never mind. Victory Dance. Interesting. So it gets to survive on 1 HP for an additional turn. Which is not bad. Let me get an Intimidate coming in. We have an Adrenaline Orb proc. Adrenaline Orb doing a lot of work in this tournament, I'm seeing.
Yes. Yeah, used to affect... Also missed... Oh, didn't miss that time, but that's okay. Yeah, did a lot of work against me as well. That Pokemon is very real, and that Axe Kick is humongous.
Yeah, Hisuian Lilligant, kind of a monster.
She hits hard, and this is after a Victory Dance as well, so it is the equivalent of like a Dragon Dance style thing.
Yeah.
It's a strong Pokemon.
And the Clear Amulet stopping the attack drop into the 2 Intimidators, that's pretty brutal.
Yep.
This is looking like Terrastormer is going to be able to wrap this one up shortly.
Yes, this does end up being a pretty one-sided match. A lot of looking at it, it feels like EBEZA got a little bit flustered by this Lilligant.
Yeah.
And kind of just didn't know how to play around it, which happens, you know. Like sometimes you play against Pokemon that you just have no experience against, and you don't know how to.
Not sure what to expect.
Yeah, you're not sure what to expect. You don't know how to counterplay it. Like sometimes the speed tier is a bit faster than you expect, but yeah, this Lilligant definitely just like cleared the battle. Like it like solo KO'd like 4 Pokemon. Like this is the MVP of this battle by a lot.
Big axe kicking. All right, well that is the victory to Terrastormer. And then that leads us to our last replay.
Yes.
which was Jade
Big one.
and Elise, right?
Yes.
So Jade and Elise. Elise is 3-0 at this point.
Yes, correct.
Very,
Jade
very
is
scary.
2-1.
And Jade is 2-1. So Jade only lost to me, and then absolutely squashed with the After You, and then Torkoal combo.
Yes, the eruption After You.
Yeah.
Shenanigans in chlorophyll with the sun.
Yeah.
Just very fast, very huge, and poor Evie didn't really have the tools to deal with that. So that was a big match win for her, and a big turnaround, I think, for her record going into this third round.
Yeah, I genuinely think both of these competitors are strong team builders and have drafted stuff that leans into flexibility rather than raw power. Like, arguably, looking at your draft, you drafted for all raw power, and then looking at Elise's draft, she drafted all entirely for utility and flexibility.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how those different strategies are playing here, because it is a draft, right? We don't get to ostensibly pick a perfect team. We are trying to draft the best options that we can in the scenarios that we see and the other things that are picked. So it is interesting to see what is raw Pokemon battling skill and what is actually just good drafting to have those good options for you to pick from. But let's reveal the teams that were brought. So the first thing we're noticing is no Sun from Jadeabella.
Yes.
Because we have that T-Tar, we have that Pelipper, it's possibly that it was too contested to be able to guarantee that would work out.
Very true. I still think it's one of those things where, like, when you have that strong pair and have the option to do that, just do it.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Make them bring the tools to stop your combo, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because if they don't have the tools to stop it, they can't stop it. Like, you just get to do your broken thing. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. But
absolutely.
Let's see what they've got.
Yeah, let's hit that button. You ready for the countdown?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hit the button. So this is another one where we saw lots of both. Elise is typing in the chat immediately. Where's the gang? That face when no sun.
Yeah, starting with the BM already.
Which is very funny. But yeah, both of these players were like big in the tank players, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely curious to see exactly how all of this rolls out when everything is so measured, everything is so thought out. I think you are a little bit in front of me.
Oh, maybe half a second. I'll pause for a second.
Because I just saw the Leaf Storm now, but that Swampert is 4x weak to grass.
4 times weak to grass, yeah. So it was very brave leaving it in there.
Yeah, knowing that Leaf Storm is a guaranteed on Superior, it's a bit rough there. But a big Tri-Attack clapback. So hopefully inch back on that HP trade.
Does pop the Citrus Berry, which gets it back into pretty healthy.
Also, this Hitmontop, I think, does so much work on Elise's team.
It covers so many bases. Like, it's an Intimidator, it's a Fake Outer, but it also can do, like, Wide Guard. And
it's tankier than you'd expect.
And
it does bulky. More damage than you'd expect. Like,
yeah. It's a very strong Pokemon.
I definitely got by it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people got by it, to be honest.
Here's another big Leaf Storm into Moose, the Alchemy, which is copying the double in because of the Rock Slide and getting KO'd. I'm not sure if Decorate goes through Protect, but I also don't know that Decorate onto the half-attacked Weirdeer is the right choice here.
No, I don't think so either. So I'm just unsure as to why the Weirdeer is just staying in. You're not trying to get the...
Well, if you reset the contrary on the Superior, kind of makes that irrelevant. I mean, Superior is a special attacker anyway, so it's going to be kind of irrelevant anyway.
but it's more like for the Crocodile.
Yeah. The draining kiss into the Crocodile through screen, doing absolutely no damage, kind of shows how much trouble Jadeabella is in here.
Yes. Also, just some like very, very heads up pivots from Elise here. And like you're just seeing the power of this like overgrown, like contrary Leaf Storm shenanigans. Like it's just nuts.
It's very strong. Nuts. Okay, blocking a what would have been a close to, if not fatal, Psychic from Weirdeer. I do believe Superior outspeeds both of these things.
Yep.
At 181. So for this Superior on its own, not to sweep, Jadeabella's going to need to bring in something that has a greater speed tier to try and get that last 40%. And I think only Porygon is the thing that could do it. But at this point, because so many resources have been burned, unable to knock through the companion Pokemon, Jadeabella doesn't really have much left to throw at this team.
No.
And Elise has got 4 other whole bodies.
Yeah. It kind of feels like there's a lot of support Pokemon being brought here, and not much in the way of like offensive, like proper offensive threats. Like
that's true. The Torkoal probably should have been brought regardless, right?
Yeah, like Porygon does a lot of damage, but isn't known for its bulk. Same with Rotom. Like Rotom does a lot of damage, but isn't known for its bulk. Also, Rotom Wash is super weak to like half of the team here. Swampert is also super weak to half the team here. Like, there's just a lot of I think just maybe slightly underestimating your opponent. Maybe just bringing a couple of wrong Pokemon and kind of getting caught.
I think the too many supports is a good shout. Like Rotom Wash is the utility where you have like a little bit of coverage and also the option of stuff like Will-O-Wisp, right? Alchemy is a core support Pokemon where your main thing is Decorate. Comfy is the same, and like if you're healing your own dudes, it doesn't really matter that much if they explode to a Leaf Storm, right? So that is the result. Elise coming in with a 6-0. No shock there from our undefeated player at the moment.
First place, undefeated, 4-0 in the Swiss.
Yeah.
Really, really well played. You know, as we have come to expect from Elise.
Yeah. She's
good team builder.
Come off the back of her tournament, coming second, and is thirsty for revenge. Is what I'm seeing here. Coming back for the big sweep. So let's cut over to the final standings, because that was the last match we need to look at. We've got the 2 draws, and that was the other 2 matches for round 4. And then cutting to the standings, you can see Elise on that 4-0. I'm then in second with a 2-1, but I believe tied second with Sean Houdini on the same ratio. Then we've got Jadeabella and Terrastormer. And Terrastormer is missing on just that little bit of resistance to get into that 4th place. And then we've got Loremother, EBEZA, and AV. Rounding it out, and you can see why we seeded the tournament in the way that we did, because the standings do kind of reflect that. But that means that this is our top 4, and the finals, which is going to be Saturday, streamed at same time, same place. You can find all that in the description of the video, but is going to be our cut to top 4. Now, we just talked about this before starting and recording this video in particular. What are we going to do for the top 4? Because if we do the traditional thing of first plays 8th, or in this case plays 4th, and then the middle bracket people play each other, it's a replica of round 4.
Yes.
And so instead, we've decided we are going to allow Elise to pick her first victim, essentially, the way things are going, and then the other 2 people will play against each other. So Elise, being 4-0, can potentially pave a victory all the way up to being 6-0, which would be really exciting to see. And then everyone else will be playing off to potentially hit those remaining spots. So I think predictions: do you think Elise is going to remain undefeated and win, or do you think there's going to be an upset in the finals?
I don't know. She's been in like really, really good form. It's hard to say. I guess it kind of depends on who she selects to play against first.
Well, she's beaten all three of us.
That's true. That's true. But like, there's a lot of time between round 1 and round 5.
True. It's like, does she pick Jadeabella because she's
She
just
knows
come off the back of a 6-0
yeah.
into Jadeabella? Does she pick one of us because we have a greater chance of winning in that second round of the finals after defeating one other person?
Yeah, I think the question is do you want to take advantage of like breaking someone's momentum potentially, right? Because like Pokemon is the psychological side of it anyway. Momentum, just like in any competitive game, really, momentum, psychological momentum is huge. It can give you a really, really big confidence boost and make you make plays that normally you
The
wouldn't.
world champ difference.
Yeah, it's the competitor difference, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. That's something she'll have to decide for herself.
Because I think there's another interesting thing to point out here with the choice, right? Because if Elise picks either you or I, and then Jadeabella beats the other person, and Elise goes back on a stomp, back onto Jadeabella, that might be a much easier win. So if Elise can predict someone that Jadeabella could beat, she could very easily create a 6-0 scenario if she can run it back.
That's true.
And perform another sweep against Jadeabella. And then, in theory, you could argue that same combination for a lot of the other competitors in the top 4. So I think there is going to be a big, weighty decision that we're going to be dropping on Elise to try and figure out if she can maintain form, keep that steamroll going, maintain frame, and win this tournament.
I'm super excited for the matches, regardless of what happens. You know, last time we did the finals, it was very hype, getting everybody in there, and we're all sort of like talking and stuff. But yeah,
and I think this one's going to be more competitive. I think we're all hungrier for it this time.
I think so. I think this one just there's a lot to prove here because we're all returning, right? Like all of us were in the top 4 of the last tournament, and we're all back, and now it's like now you gotta, everybody's out for blood.
That's right. So if you're keen, you want to come and check out the finals, it will be live on the Cutlassboardgames Twitch channel at 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on the Saturday, which is, again, Saturday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be having the top 4 come together for the final matches, and we can finally crown who is the winner of the Cutlass Draft League. I'm very excited. We're all very excited here. And make sure that you come and hang out and cheer on your favorite to win it. Is Elise going to win it all, or is she going to be the one that becomes upset? You'll have to come and find out on Saturday.
See you then.